welcome to another episode of First Down by CoachTools. Today I'm here with Coach Danny Lockhart. Thanks for coming on, Coach.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Coach Lockhart is the president and founder of Team Hustle Football, which is a successful off-season training program in Southern California, responsible for a lot of different players' successes going to Division I programs and ultimately getting recruited and ranked on a lot of professional websites. To get things started, Coach, can you just share with the audience a little bit about your background and how you ultimately got involved in your current role?
I played football at Carson High School. Shout out to Carson High coaches. And, we're from the 90s. Things were different back then. And coming out of LA, it's like football was my gateway out of the streets and things like that. And so my love for football started, at a young age. I was fortunate to play JC football under Steve Sarkisian for a bit, and I went on and played some college football. And so, yeah, it ended in college for me. And like any college football player, I went to Montana State. It's like that, what's next moment. And so I knew at one point, like, I would have to get involved in coaching.
Can you tell me more about what that was like being coached by Steve Sarkisian? Because I'm sure, it's a pretty cool experience.
Yeah, well, he was young, man. He was up and coming. This was right before the USC boom. He got his big break at USC with
Okay.
Pete Carroll. So this is like the dynasty. Like SoCal at that time was pretty much owned by USC at that particular time.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the Reggie Bush era, so I'm around that time.
Okay.
But it was, you could just tell he was just going to be gifted, even though we were at junior, I was heavily recruited out of high school, but academically, I just didn't get it done. So that's why, I'm a big motivation to kids. Like, if you get it done in the classroom, life can be a very, very easy for you.
Yeah.
If you have to go to JC, and there's a lot of kids that have to go to JC now because of the portal, don't worry about it. Just keep
Yeah.
working.
Yeah. Just so the audience knows, Coach Lockhart and I, we were just talking about team hustle and the different things that he does for athletes. So can you just talk about that and your role over the years with your sons and the different athletes at John Bosco?
Well, I'm a former fighter, former martial artist, pro fighter. So after football, I pursued martial arts, fighting, and I competed. And then when I retired, I said, man, there has to be a correlation between our discipline in combative sports and football. And so when I created my program 10 years ago, Team Hustle, what separated me from a lot of other programs that they had was my mindset. See, boxers run early in the morning. So we would train at odd hours. That was the first thing, because we live in a day and age where little Johnny only, hey, Coach Lockhart, we can only come at this time, and that time, man, we trained during Christmas.
Yeah.
It was raining. You can ask anybody watching this video; they'll tell you, man, we trained all year round,
Mm-hmm.
early morning, late night, odd hours, in the rain, in the cold, because I built that program from a fighter's mindset.
What else from like a fighter's perspective has helped you in your football coaching career and also just, giving advice to some of the athletes at John Bosco?
Well, I mean, so as time went by and building our program, I was fortunate that my older son had a chance in his senior year to go to St. John Bosco in 2019. At
Mm-hmm.
that time, I remember telling the staff, like, because they just won the championship, they lost in the championship the year before I got there, but they were so close. And I remember me and there was a couple other new transfers that came in, and I was like, man, you know what? And I remember telling my son, I was like, you know what? Offense wins games. At that time we had DJ. He was a great quarterback. DJU,
Yeah.
great
Wow.
quarterback. But I was like, man, offense wins games, but defense wins championships.
Yeah.
So I felt like a little bit of our vibe, a little bit of our culture, my family. I felt like we could make an impact at that program, and and so that eventually over time, me being around Bosco and having kids come through Bosco that were in my program, they carry a little bit of that fighter spirit.
Definitely. So what else have you learned along the way in terms of like preparation and also just understanding how the whole process works of ultimately winning? Like what have you learned by starting your business, Team Hustle?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, how you prepare. Well, let me scoot back a little bit. I believe that there's 5 phases to recruiting. I have a program now that we launched, really excited. It's called the Power Five. It's 10 years of research. It's my 10 years of work. For example, phase number one, the development phase. Before you want to get offers or stars or get known, make sure you get developed. Make sure you actually are in shape.
Yeah.
Make sure you know what you're doing, right? Because if you don't get developed, you just get exposed. Phase number two, right? After a kid is developed, now it's discovered. We call it the discovery phase. What are you doing? Where are you going? Who are you connected? What
Hmm.
school are you at to become discovered?
Right.
And I may get in trouble for this, but I I am who I am. And at 42 years old, I got enough friends. So I'm gonna say this, like, unfortunately, some kids are at the wrong high school because they won't get discovered. And
Yeah.
any parent watching this from the bottom of your belly, right, and you feel it in your gut, you got to make sure that your son is in a position to get discovered. Phase number three. Let me know if I'm going too far or too fast,
No,
because
this is good.
it's a lot.
This is a lot
That's
of
a
good
lot.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Phase, in the Power Five. So we have you got to be developed, you got to be discovered. Um, okay, and then phase number three is evaluating. I have found out that not every camp is a good camp. So when kids are out there trying to camp, make sure you're at a camp where a lot of that stuff is verified. These
Yeah.
colleges are trying to find verified times, right? And there's so many flyers that go out. It's amazing what gets on some of these apps. And I'm not saying no names. I
Yeah.
don't want to be banned from the apps, but some of these apps, man, almost anybody can throw a show,
Hmm.
right? So make sure
Definitely.
you are being evaluated. Okay, number four, official visits. I have seen kids that have 20 offers and only got 2 official visits.
Wow.
Phase number four, right? Build your body, build your brand, build your identity so that many schools are prepared to launch official visits when it's time. Phase number five, okay? National letter of intent. There's a lot
Hmm.
of schools out there give you the offer, right? Pay for your visit. Got mom and dad and everybody else. And all of a sudden, the transport opens. Somehow that letter didn't come.
Hmm.
Somehow that golden phone call, hey, you know what? We got another guy. We're gonna go with another quarterback. We're gonna go this and that. And all of a sudden, all these people, their kids are heartbroken.
Yeah.
Dads are going online like, I hate the portal and snap. So my thought process is this: now that I've explained to you the 10 years of my hard work and broke it down in phases, be like a fighter. Give yourself a puncher's chance
Right.
and prepare.
Yep.
I believe in preparation.
I love how you broke it down there because just like what you were saying, it all starts with development, and you have to be able to not only be in shape, but you have to be you have to be physically strong, fast, and also as a player, a lot of kids, for example, like me when I was a student athlete, I'm only 6 feet tall. I didn't have as high of a ceiling as certain guys, and that's the thing is like you have to be able to understand like what level are you capable of, and if you are at that level where you are able to go to a Power 5 school, I think that's crucial to not only start with that, but then, take yourself through the 5 different steps you talked about. We talked about this a little bit off camera, but
Yep.
where exactly are all your sons at right now?
So my older son just transferred from Ole Miss. He was at Ole Miss. He was the first one to win that national championship in 2019 at St. John Bosco.
Okay.
Then his second brother came, did very well at Bosco, but pursued boxing, so he didn't play any college football. And then Jordan is my youngest one. He's one of the big recruits in this class. And then he signed his letter of intent to Texas A&M. So I'm gonna
There
have
you
two
go.
sons at Texas A&M.
Nice. Any last words of advice, coach, that you want to share with the audience today?
3 parts to the coaches. We got the greatest job in the world, man. Greatest job in the world. We live in a great country where we have a great game called football. Changes people's lives forever. And just keep coaching, man. Keep coaching, keep doing well, keep winning. And everything that needs to happen in its time will happen. You know, to the parents, a lot of parents struggling with this whole journey called football. They have no idea where to go, no roadmap, no football 101 book, right? And it's interviews like this, and I want to thank you for having me on, that will expose good coaches and stuff. You just take the tools for what it's worth,
Right.
to the parents, like, say, fall in love with development. Don't chase the stars. Find the best trainers, find the best programs in your area, and concentrate on the day-to-day development. And for the athletes, dream big. I mean, you got to put yourself in a fighter's chance.
Hmm.
I mean, there's big guys, fast guys. There's always gonna be someone better than you in something, but that dream will take you a long way, my man.
Hmm.
That dream will keep you up and lifting and doing pull-ups on that door right up there. Dumbbells right up. We put the dumbbells at the bedside. I asked the guys, "Oh man, how much you love this?" "Oh, yo, well, how many times you train?" "Oh, Coach Lockhart, man. I train, every time we get in the weight room at school." I said, "That's not training enough,
Yeah.
right?" I put the dumbbells right there on your bed, man. You can't even eat without hitting those dumbbells.
Hmm.
Because colleges want size. High school kids are not big enough. You can't make yourself tall, but you can make yourself bigger,
Hmm.
faster, stronger. So dream big.
Yep. Yeah. Couldn't agree more, coach. And that's the thing. Like, I think football is the perfect microcosm for life in general because the lessons and the values that you learn as a player, you can apply that to anything in life. And I've learned that. I'm a few years out of college at this point, and it's really interesting to learn, like, as an athlete, like you were saying, dreaming big. I'm using that in the business world with my business CoachTools at this point, and at the same time, dedication and really just having that. I'm not a fighter myself, but having that mentality like you were talking about, and just never giving up. So really appreciate all the
Thank you.
advice and the expertise you shared today. And best of luck as your sons are going through college and you go through this off season.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me on.